Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's adventure is a hike in what seems to look like spring, but it's not. It is a warm day. We're out here with a hot tent set up with a very small portable titanium wood stove. I am in a very familiar location. I have camped here 3 times this winter, hiked in here with a totally different setup each time. And I had to come back here just because it's so abundant in firewood. The location's really nice and quiet. And it is misty, foggy, and rainy out today. And I absolutely love being in the trees and the pines and the spruces when it's drizzly and kind of wet out. So I've got the tent, I've got the stove, I've got the pad, everything totally set up. It's now time to shed a layer because, like I said, it is warm out today. It'll get cold a little later on. But I do need to collect some firewood, get the stove going, start on a hot coffee. Alright guys, got a cup of hot coffee on the go right now. Got the wood stove damped down a little bit so you can see it's throwing quite a bit of smoke. Everything in this forest is wet. Very, very wet. So damping the stove down, holding in a lot of heat so it'll radiate around the stove to dry out a bunch of that firewood is going to be key. It is warm right now. It's supposed to get down to freezing later this evening. I don't know if that's going to happen because it is quite warm and quite moist out here, but we'll wait and see. I still am going to have to collect some actual firewood, pieces that are, 2 to 3 inches in diameter. I do have the saw with me today, and there's tons of firewood all around here, so collecting that's not going to be a problem. That way we can get it stacked next to the stove, start the drying out process, and then later this evening, wood will burn really, really nice and hot. It's definitely warm in here. Even up in the vestibule area, it's got to be like 25, 30 degrees Celsius with the doors open. That stove and this tent combination, A+. It gets very, very hot in there when you need it. Definitely gets hot when you need it. So I'm going to enjoy my coffee, relax for a few minutes, and then like I said, I am going to have to take the saw, head over to some of these trees, get some bigger branches, prep all that wood down, and get it in here so it can dry up. So cheers guys, let's enjoy an afternoon coffee. Alright guys, I am just warming up my coffee right now. I've just done a massive amount of wood cutting, splitting, prepping of hardwood and softwood. So I think I'm fairly happy with the amount of wood that I've got. I've got it situated in a little bit of a horseshoe around the stove on purpose. Some of it is a little damp, mainly the softwood. The hardwood's actually very dry, but I want to elevate it just so we can get in that hot air to really dry out. That way later on this evening I could damp it down to coals and load in a really dense piece of wood, and it'll take off without having to crank the stove very, very hot, because I've got a feeling it's going to be really, really toasty warm in there tonight. The bonus with this tent is it does have a two-way zipper up here in this hooded area on all 4 doors, plus a little kickstand vent down there, so I can really vent out the tent really nicely. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. So I'm warming up my coffee because I did not finish it last round. And after that, I think it's going to be time to cook supper. It's getting quite late in the evening. I didn't really realize how much time I spent on prepping wood, but it was quite a bit of time. So just going to finish up this coffee, get this nice and hot again. Oof. And as soon as I'm done with this, like I said, I'm going to be getting out my cooking stuff. I did bring meat. I have it stored actually probably about 20 feet that way in the refrigerator, also known as the snowbank. So I'm going to have to get that out of there, do a little bit of food prep over here in front of the tent, and get a pan on top of that stove, nice and hot, and start cooking some supper. So let's enjoy this little break for a moment. Alright guys, climbing inside of the tent. We've got probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half left of daylight. Boomer is tucked in right next to me on my down jacket, falling asleep. So he's done for the day. He did a lot of running around, chasing squirrels and birds, doing his thing. And I did a lot of work cutting up all this wood, so I'm actually quite tired myself. It is raining very, very, very lightly. This tent pitches extremely tight. Listen to this. Every tiny little raindrop that hits the tent, it sounds like a drum. It is super tight, and I love that. But right now it's barely drizzling coming through the canopy. Out in the open it is raining a little bit, but here in the forest it's just a little drizzle. The warmth from the stove is very, very, very nice. So I've got a load of wood here prepped that I'm going to be feeding in. I've got some of this hardwood laid up here in the front. Softwood's drying out very nicely. I've got all my twigs for the morning drying out as well. And basically it's time to crawl into the tent. I'm going to leave this door open, but I am going to shut the back door. That's my entrance in and out of the tent. I'm going to shut that to kind of cut this draft a little bit. I would really like to get my shoes dried out because they are quite damp. So I'm going to prop those up here on the mat near the stove and start the drying process and basically relax. It's going to be darkness soon, so I do want to rest my back, enjoy a little bit of tent life before too late, because I'm going to be going to bed early this evening, got an early morning tomorrow, and we'll see how the night goes. Hopefully we get some rain, and yeah, just a nice quiet night out here. So I'm going to relax, guys, enjoy the heat from this fire, kick back and watch a movie. Alright guys, so been in the tent for about 20 minutes now, and it's definitely a hot tent. So I had the door wide open, it started raining, and well, the door's shut. The wind's blowing the rain in a little bit, but those doors do have two-way zip, as I mentioned earlier, so I did unzip a little bit to let some of that heat out. The bonus is right now, I have my shoes propped up on the firewood, and those are drying out really well. So might as well get the heat lofting in here for a few moments anyways. I'm still fully dressed because I will be going back outside a little later on to get a little bit of photos and yeah, a little bit of stuff outside. Use the washroom one more time and then I'll be in for the night. So give you guys a look at what the vestibule area looks like, and probably about it. So Boomer is snuggled up on me, and coming down into the vestibule, you guys will see that stove is just rocking out the heat. I've got my boots propped up on some of these pieces of wood here, so those are drying out. That door up there, you guys can see, is unzipped a little bit. I've got my gloves hung up on the clothesline built into the tent, and having a really great time. Actually, this wood is getting very, very, very dry, which is going to be perfect for morning coffee. Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful morning out here today. It is windy, it is wet, it is dark and cloudy. My kind of morning for sure. So chilling out in the tent. I've got both doors wide open. I've got a nice breeze coming through here. Basically sitting right on top of the stove, just lofting the heat into my feet, my legs. Totally warm overnight. Like last night was really relaxing. It got wet, it got rainy, it got windy. The tent was just tapping like a drum. This stove was cranking out some heat. I had both doors up front kind of venting out any excess heat so it didn't get too hot in here. But it was definitely enjoyable. I still have a absolute mound of firewood in here that is now really, really dry. Unfortunately, I don't need it. I prepped a lot of wood thinking it was going to be colder, and it wasn't, which is kind of good because I can stash this off to the side, and potentially next time I visit this spot again, hopefully there'll be some wood there left over. So, very simple morning today. I've already had breakfast. Boomer has already had breakfast. I'm just working on my coffee right now. And then it's going to be pack-up time. That's the beauty of hot tent camping is it's kind of a nice relaxing area to get out of the wet and the wind and the cold. Just enough to, you know, kick back and relax and have a coffee before hitting the trail. So, and I think that's going to be it for this morning, is basically enjoy coffee, rather quick pack up. I'm not going to do the pack up and share that with you guys. I'll spare you with that this time because the tent is wet and it's going to take a minute for me to get it down, get it shaken off, get it packed away, and all of that fun stuff that is really kind of boring. So I'm going to get my sleeping bag and sleeping pad deflated, get all that stuff packed up, and basically jam it in the backpack. Last night, like I said, was really enjoyable. I was stuffed after that food. I was really, really happy with the way those burgers turned out. Everything went really well. And like I said, for such a small stove, it packing up really small, I'm surprised that the pan fits on there and it heats up that quickly every time I use it. I will answer a question to those who ask, what is my favorite wood stove? You're looking at it, as you could tell by now me talking about it. And my favorite hot tent, as of right now, 2025, I've got to say, is the Nature Hike Massive Solo. Right now, that is my favorite tent. My second favorite hot tent would probably be this Nortent Vern 2. So, just to give you guys a little bit of attention in the comment section there, I do read the comments. I do my best to answer them, but I'd like to put that in the video just for those who are curious, wondering. Maybe I'll do a video on why they're my favorite, but I think you could probably pretty much tell why they're my favorite and how I speak about them and seeing them perform. So, yeah, I'm going to finish up my coffee. Boomer is over there staring at these strange birds that are bouncing around, so he's going to do his thing. And I think I'm just going to wrap it up right here. I want to kick back and relax and enjoy this last little bit out here. So I'm going to enjoy my coffee. Peace out, guys. I'll see you in the next one.